offering today. And what we are going to do today is really the foundations of how an ideal client interaction should happen, and client conversation interaction and client relation should happen between a mutual fund distributor, advisor, and an investor. And I love this slide, which Priya has set up, clearly shows the pathway in which we are going to move, and all are actually connected with each other. And ideally, this is what we want to be following as a process within our practice whenever we meet each and every client. So last 4 weeks, what we did was learn the MF categories. And many of you really said that, for the first time, somebody made us aware in a logical and scientific way, what are these 42 mutual fund categories. And that was the attempt with our MF categorization series. And we said, after this knowledge which you have gained, it is only apt on our part to give the next logical steps on how do you ensure that this knowledge which you have gained with MF categorization is put into practice with some logical, sequential, and simple tools. Okay, so the first tool which we'll be covering is called as a client discovery meeting. Now, most of us would already be doing this. Okay, most of us would be doing this, but it is being done in a very unorganized way or not in a very structured way. Okay, what we'll try and do is we'll bring structure and science to this particular client discovery meeting. There's a blank template, and then there's a filled template. I want you all to look at the filled example, see the questions, and see the answers. So the questions are like, do you already have some investments? Who are there in your family? Talk about the family. Talk about their career and profession, so that you know how stable is their income, what is their investment potential, savings potential. Do you have any specific goals? A lot of investors do not come to us with any specific goals, and it's perfectly okay. We should not push clients to kind of say that nahi, goal aapko karna hi hai, goal hai to hi aap investment karna hai. Nahi, it's okay. People have heard about mutual funds. People have heard from their friends about mutual funds, and people have been seeing the stock market, and they just want to get started. So help them get started. Be open to it. Fifth is, how much do you want to invest right now? Either you want to invest in lump sum or SIP. So people will not have answers to these questions. It's just that you getting into a probing mode. If they don't have an answer, don't kind of force them to have an answer. Just ask open-ended question. If they don't have SIP, if they don't know how much to invest, ask them, what is the rough savings you might be able to do right now. So ask some probing question if you're not getting some exact answer. Okay. Understand the time horizon. People again will not have an invest करना है 3 साल के लिए करना है 5 साल के लिए करना है 10 साल के लिए करना है 3 महीने के लिए करना है लोगों को नहीं पता होता and it's okay and this is also a time where you can educate them about the more the time horizon, the higher will be your participation in equity, which also means better return. The next tool now, which is second one, MF risk profiling questionnaire. So this is the investor risk profiling questionnaire, and I want to give you the concept of what is risk profiling in the first place. The risk profiling, in short, is how much risk can you take with, not can, it is what is the risk you are taking with your investments. Okay. Can and should take with your investments. Okay, that is risk profile, and how it should be found out. The scientific way, which we had learned long back, and which I think many of the evolved financial advisors and distributors do, is trying to find out 3 things to determine the risk profile: risk tolerance, risk capacity, and risk required. Okay, the concept of risk tolerance, risk capacity, and risk required. Now, this, frankly, we learned it from a tool called as Phenometrica, which was one of the world's leading tool for financial advisors to do risk profiling. Unfortunately, they stopped operating in India and they merged with Morningstar worldwide, and many of them stopped using it. Okay, so what are these three things? Okay, risk tolerance is an individual's willingness to take risk or the level of comfort that I am willing to comfort with uncertainty. कि भाई मैं लॉस ले सकता हूं क्या, मुझे लॉस पसंद है क्या, मैं लॉस होने पे घबराऊंगा नहीं कि घबराऊंगा. ओके, सो दिस इज द रिस्क टॉलरेंस कि हाउ मच रिस्क कैन आई actually I'm willing to take for what return I'm expecting. Okay, second is risk capacity, which is there a comfort or a cushion or my background, does my background really helps me to take risk? Okay, if my income is stable, if I don't have any financial obligations, okay, if my time if I have an emergency funds in place and I don't have to withdraw money, obviously my risk capacity is more. Okay, in sense that I'm able to, my financial ability is so strong that I'm able to take more risk. Okay, and third is risk required. देखो, एक होता है आपका risk risk कितना लूंगा versus कितना risk आपको लेना ही पड़ेगा. You don't have an option. Okay, suppose I want to send my children's child for education and requires 25 lakhs in next, let's say 8 years, and I have only 8 years, I need to take risk. Suppose I have my time horizon very long it ensures that I can take more risk around my investments. Okay, so suppose my return expectations are very large. Okay, I want 15% return. So obviously my this kind of a return expectation will not happen without taking risk. Okay, so this is risk required. The risk profile can evolve and become higher based on past experience and the awareness. ओके, सो ऐसा नहीं कि रिस्क प्रोफाइल एक बार किया वही रिस्क प्रोफाइल हमेशा रहेगा. 2-3 साल में जनरली व्हेन अ पर्सन वर्क्स विद अ फाइनेंशियल एडवाइजर डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर लाइक यू, द रिस्क प्रोफाइल इंक्रीजेस. ओके, सो दैट्स नंबर 1. And every question again, friends, is an opportunity for you to educate the client, and we definitely want to ensure that the client risk profile increases so that he can participate in equity markets and get better returns. Okay, so once you do this, it will show you the risk profile score, and I'll show you what are the categories and stuff like that. So 73 will stand for high risk profile. Investor type will be aggressive investor. Ideal asset allocation is 75% equity and 25% debt. Recommended equity exposure this, recommended debt exposure, and obviously you'll put your name and the date of the risk profile done. Okay, this particular tool is inspired by a very well-known and very reputed and very large personal finance professional, mutual fund distributor, advisor. Okay, his name is Vinod Jain of Jain Invest. Okay, it was like 10-11 years back in 2012 or 13. I visited his office. I used to visit a lot of PFP and financial advisors, distributors offices long back. अभी मैं नहीं करता हूँ ज़्यादा, but उस time पे बहुत ज़्यादा मैं I used to visit offices to learn the best practices, what they are doing. And that time I think he was around 300-400 crore of assets, and that was like huge, amongst the top 10 IFAs or maybe something like that. And today he, I think, manages around 3,000-4,000 crores of assets. एंड उस टाइम पे हम लोग XLFP चलाते थे, XLFP वर्कशॉप ऑफ मेकिंग अ कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव फाइनेंशियल प्लान कंस्ट्रक्शन, फाइनेंशियल ब्लूप्रिंट कंस्ट्रक्शन. And the XLFP, or many of you are aware about XLFP, and it comprises of around 30 odd pages which we give to the clients in a very structured way. And so I asked Vinod, okay, you have 20-30 team members and you build so much of assets of 300-400 crores. तो ये कैसे सॉलिसिट करते हो आप, कैसे रेकमेंड करते हो कितना इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए और कितना करेंगे तो क्या होगा? So and I told him about XLFP and stuff like that, and he gave me a very nice smile and he said he opened up an Excel sheet, okay? A very simple Excel sheet, and which had just a few fields, okay? कितना invest करना है, कितना invest करोगे तो कितना आपका पैसा बनेगा in the markets in the long run, okay? In let's say 5 years, 10 years, कितने साल में? सादिक, अभी तक जो भी हमने बिल्ड किया है 300-400 करोड़, और जो भी मेरे लोग हैं 20-30 लोग, सब लोग ये सिंपल एक्सेल शीट यूज करते हैं सादिक। क्विकली कोई भी म्यूचुअल फंड एडवाइजर, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर यूज कर सकता है विथ एनी क्लाइंट, ओके? क्लाइंट आया, वॉक इन किया, एंड क्लाइंट वांट्स टू नो ओके विच वन टू इन्वेस्ट, कितना बनेगा, and we just do a quick calculation and give him that confidence and give him we help him visualize what will happen with his or her clients, okay? So this is what it is about the mutual fund investment calculator. And generally speaking, the investment calculation should and does happen from what is the investment potential, कि client कितना invest करना चाहता है, अभी कर सकता है या फिर कितना महीने SIP कर सकते हैं, 30,000 SIP करना है, 20,000 SIP करना है, या फिर अभी 2 लाख, अभी 2 लाख रुपीज इन्वेस्ट करना है, 5 लाख करना है, 10 लाख रुपीज करना है. So that is how it is based. Now, how does this work? I'll show you.
Friends, we did an exercise last time in the session, that we went through the 42 categories that we have for this MF, like suggested or say put by SEBI, put by AMFI. Now we will be seeing, how you can recommend which category to which client of yours. We went through the client meeting part. We went through the risk profiler part. We went through the goals, like what amount would you suggest to your client. Now, the next step that we'll be having is that which category you would be suggesting to which client. So before starting this, I would just have a question. Like, do you have your research thing in place? Like before recommending it to a client, or do you follow this exercise, like you would be taking out some time to research for some categories or say some funds so that, it's easier for you to, recommend it when you meet your client, because we can't take a lot of time to research, right? So this tool is going to solve all of those problems. Like this is something that you can have for yourself. Like why not have something structured for ourselves also and just not clients, right? This will make your work easier. This will save your time, right? So we are going to have this MF product suitability metrics for this purpose. We went through this 42 categories in the session. We understood, what kind of categories could be suggested to what kind of clients, what should be risk profile of these categories, what can be the time horizon, like the ideal time horizon that you can say. But obviously it can differ from PFP to PFP. So similarly, like we have this 42 categories here, and this is going to be the first sheet. First, we will be looking at this one. This is MF Suitability Logics sheet. So we will be filling up this sheet to get the funds here. But before that, we have to fill up this sheet. Now, let's say we have this option here. Do we recommend yes or no? So those who were not there in the previous session or have just missed it, I would request you all and also the others to just fill this first 5 rows. We just have to say that would you recommend this to your client or not. When we started this series, we did say MF sahi hai, but kaun sa sahi hai, we will look into that, right? Now we are end of this like series. So we have figured out ki kaun sa MF sahi hai, kis client ke liye sahi hai. So we have just mapped these categories as per the client's risk profile. So this is done here. Now, once you have mapped all of this, you can review this every 6 months or every 12 months. Agar aapki teams hai, so it will be easier for you, that you all would be on the same page. You do not have to research this again and again or say work on this again and again, right? So you can do this exercise every 6 months or 12 months as per your thing. Now, coming to this MF suitability metrics. So if you could see, जिस तरीके से आपने यहाँ पे लॉजिक्स डाले होंगे उसके बेसिस पे यू विल बी एबल टू सी फंड्स हियर. नाउ यू वुड नॉट गेट 42 कैटेगरीज हियर. You would only get categories that you have selected as per the risk profile and the time horizon. Okay. So अब मुझे पता है कि अगर मेरे पास क्लाइंट आ रहा है जो लो रिस्क का है, as you would see कि रिस्क प्रोफाइलर से मुझे पता चल जाएगा कि उसका रिस्क क्या है. So if there is a client who is coming with a low risk and I know the period, it will be so easier for me to map this category. So once my category is mapped, I will be just recommending the fund. आप fund research कर सकते हो and it will be easier. So when you have to cater a lot of clients, this will be such a helpful tool for you.